Alright guys. 141.
141.
Welcome back to Innovation RC, guys. If you see, we have Spartan here, and the last time it was on the road, it hit 141 miles an hour. Now, this video is really going to be about overviewing it after the run to prepare it for the next run. And I'm going to show you guys of what you should do to a higher end speed car if you want to ensure that it's going to be ready for the next pass. So, I'm not going to take any more of you guys' time. Let's hop right into it.
Whoa!
Alright, so we're going to be going in order, and I wrote everything of what I'm going to be going over in this video, and we're going to be going from left to right, obviously. Alright, so what I want to look at first are going to be the body and tires. Then up next, we're going to go over the drivetrain, gearing, and everything, just to ensure that everything is still capable to run. And then we're also going to free spin it. Now, keep in mind, it will not be under load of the main motor. Now, if you guys are curious about that, it could be very, very dangerous, and I'm going to show you an easy way to see how your drivetrain is spinning without even doing that. Up next, we're going to do a general nut and bolt and Loctite if needed. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Last, we're going to go over the Datalog to determine what we are going to end out with regarding setup and if we need to gear up further. Alright, so I'm here at my local hobby shop. Oh, that looks pretty quick. And we're actually going to be washing Spartan because before I really nut and bolt and go through this whole vehicle, I really want to ensure that it's clean before it even hits my my workbench. Really disgusting. Beautiful plates from CRCU, so definitely check them out. So this is really what we're going to do. I'm going to blow everything off with the air compressor, and then I'm going to use the greaser, and it should get everything off. I'm going to hit it with some extreme simple green, and I'm just going to spray it absolutely everywhere. Try not to get the tires because you really don't need to spray it on the tires. That's definitely a lot better. Looks so much cleaner and everything. Alright, so before I go on, if you haven't done so, be sure to follow Innovation RC on Instagram. You're going to get more pictures, videos, and inside teasers before it even hits YouTube. Definitely do that. Alright, so let's just cut to the chase. You're going to need 3 tools, not including Loctite because it's if necessary. You're going to need a 2.0, a 2.5, and a 2.5, same size as this, but in a quarter, well, any kind of speed driver drill bit. Number 1, body and tires. All right, so as I noticed, this is a GT car. Now, obviously, the body covers the tires completely. What you do have to consider, you see how it's rubbing just a little bit. Now, not all the time it is actually hitting the outer side of the fender. It's actually the amount of downforce that's pushing on the car, making it hit the tires. So what I probably might do in the long run, when we hit some higher speeds, I'm actually going to reinforce the body even further than what it already is, just so it won't bow down at high speed. Keep in mind, this is already a 2mm thick body from Delta Plastics, so it's already hefty. All right, so let's take this body off. All right, so what I want to do first, looking at the body, I can see that there's not much there, not much here. Oh, there we go. All right, so you guys can see right over here, let me get it into light. You can see how there's kind of rubbing and some chafing. So you see how it's more towards the edge? I'm gonna have to cut that out more, as well as this. I can actually see some foam in here. It's actually natural for it to rub on the side. This just means I'm gonna have to trim the body fender a little bit more than what it is. And I had to do that as in increments as I went from 70, 90, 110, 120, 125, then 141. So the faster you go, the more you're gonna have to trim it. So as we got the body out of the way, that's pretty much easy stuff. Now we want to look at the tires. So you do want to go over your tires and pretty much do a whole 360 view of each tire and ensure that there's proper wear, because you might have to readjust your camber or your toe or whatever. And oh, there we go. Look at that. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm actually going to replace this tire. So it's actually really good that I saw that. All right, so we just did our visual inspection, and obviously you guys see that there was something over here, so we're gonna replace this tire. All right, easy and quick. Body and tires out of the way. Up next is the drivetrain. Now keep in mind, I don't have my remote or battery out here. How are we gonna spin it? Now what I actually wanna do prior of doing so, I already know that the motor is good because it barely even heat up. So what I'm going to do is actually unmesh it and actually take it apart from the drivetrain. Now that does not mean I'm actually taking it out all the way. What that really means is that I'm just going to unmesh it. That PPS motor mount makes everything so easy. I totally recommend you guys getting one of these if you really want to adjust your motor mesh and, well, really just have a higher end motor mount in there. It's so worth it. It holds this big 1100 kV motor like it's nothing. But now you guys could see the motor is free spinning and there is no, there's nothing on the drivetrain. Now, how am I gonna spin it? Now, if you guys recall, I have my 2.5mm driver on my gun. Now, it's just a 12 volt, so we're not gonna have an insane amount of RPM, but it's gonna be enough to see if there's any kind of imbalance anywhere. So we're gonna wanna see how these tires are, drive shafts, we're gonna wanna hear if there's anything wrong with the bearings, all of the above. Let's put this thing in here right now. There you go. And what you don't wanna do, being that it's a drill, as you're going, you don't wanna just let off because the drill's just gonna, you know, stop where it's at, because it's just normal for a drill. So what you wanna do is slowly let off the trigger, right? So you're going, you just wanna slowly come to a stop, like that. So it puts no stress on anything. Here we go, I'm just gonna do this, you know, just at an appropriate speed. I just wanna look at everything. Spool is held in there perfectly. Looking at the tires. Tires are good. Perfect, that's not even moving. There we go. And that was just the drivetrain that we looked at, and we also covered free spin. So obviously it's kind of connected. So that was that. We remeshed the motor, and what I want to do is just ensure that everything is still, you know, tight. Make sure the top of the spool is on. Actually, I'm going to time lapse this because I'm just going to really tighten everything. Alright, so that was just a general overview. Now what we are going to do absolutely last is the data log. So we're going to read our system settings and everything. Yeah, what we want to go is straight to logging. So we're going to download logs. You see this one pass, if you guys could see this red line, this is our voltage. So this is our 6S pass. Then the voltage is going to start all the way up here for the 8S, obviously, because it's more, it's significantly higher, 8S and 6S. We could see on the 6S setup, our power out is 100%. So you could see as we climb up, it's a lot smoother, a lot more linear. That's exactly what you want. And that was my own trigger pull. That wasn't any other aid or anything. That is exactly what I want. You see the consistent power up and peak. That's exactly what you want. And this was 125 miles an hour. So obviously I'm used to that speed. And we were full throttle from here, which is like 100. Let's just do 118 all the way to here. So that was like 2 seconds. 2 seconds of full throttle right there. And we're topped out. So you guys could see as power goes up, amperage goes down. That means the car just can't push out anymore when we're at full throttle. So it's confirmed that we're maxed out on gearing regarding the 6S setup. But the 8S setup, if we could go back out here. All right, so the 8S setup, we have a lot more to do. especially with this kind of voltage drop. Now, it is very, very easy to get rid of that if you run higher, not higher, but probably newer batteries that could support the load. I guarantee you, if I run brand spanking new batteries, chances are there's going to be a lot less load. So, yeah, obviously we have a little bit of cleaning up to do. The most voltage drop, we can see that we're only at 95% power. So, vehicle had a lot more left than what we really pulled out that day. At 17.5 horsepower, that is crazy. Motor temp was cake. Motor temp really was not that bad during the run. So this is in the hundreds. ESC was also under 150 total, so that is really, really good. Now what I also want to do is look even closer into this. All right, this black line right here, that's my throttle. You see that it's kind of funky, right? Well, as power goes up, this light blue line right here, this is our power, what the car is actually putting to the ground, and what the ESC is reading out of it. You see that's going up, amperage is going up slowly. This is pretty much my hesitation, like I think I could do it. No, yeah. So that probably killed a little bit of speed of doing that. If I would have went straight up all the way, there probably would have been a little bit less voltage drop, believe it or not. But nonetheless, regardless of that, there's still a lot of voltage drop. So that's still going to significantly impact top speed. So we could see over here, we're flatlined from about here to here. So from here, this is 1 second. 1 at 409, and here's 2. We weren't even 1 full second of full throttle. I just poked it. So that makes a lot of sense as to why the most amount of power out that I got was only 95%. Oops, sorry, 95%. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So 141 at 95% power out. That's awesome. So let's say we were full throttle and we had less voltage drop. That's going to be a number that I really, really want. And I just have to stop being nervous, to be honest. But I guess that one time was just a little splurge the moment. So the fact that I was waiting this moment for a very long time, that's probably why. All right, so we're pretty much all done here. And this guy is ready to run once again. Be sure you subscribe to Innovation RC on Instagram. As I said earlier, we'll have more pictures, videos, and everything that you'll need. Just stay tuned of the projects that we'll have here on YouTube. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this informative video. And if you haven't done so, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. We're going to have more stuff coming out and hopefully more progress being done with Spartan. Have a good one, guys.